Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve some coding problem uh, using various approaches. So let me create the file first. So this is our coding problem for today. Given an array of integer, return indices of two numbers such that they add up to a specific target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. So we have an example given where we have an array of integers and the values are 2, 7, 11, 15, and the target is 9. So what we have to do is we have to iterate through the array and find two elements whose sum will be equal to 9. So if we see the number 2 and 7, if we combine these two numbers, the target will be 9. So we have to return the indexes of these value, which will be 0, 1, and then our final output will be 0 and 1. So there are multiple approaches to solve this problem. One is the brute force approach, second is two pass hash table approach, third one is one pass hash table approach, and the fourth one is sorting and two pointer approach. So we are going to see all these approaches one by one. So let me start with the first approach, which is the brute force approach. So I'll give the name to some brute force approach. You can give any name. I'm just giving it so that it is easy to remember what approach we are using here. So in this approach, basically we'll be write two for loop, and the first for loop will go to the I iterate the array, and the second approach, second for loop will be like we'll be comparing the value and making checking the sum of the numbers and compare it with the uh, target. Okay, so let's write the first for loop. Oops. So we'll assume we are passing the nums as an array of integer and the target value from the outside to this function. Okay, so now the second for loop will be, so in the second for loop we'll start from the integer, sorry, element first. Okay, so let's j equal to I plus 1 and j less than num dot length. So we'll go all the way to end of the array. Okay, so now we have to, now we can read the first two element by using I and j, and compare this value with the we'll take the sum of these two values and compare with the target, and if we get the matching number, we'll return the indices of the um, elements, and we'll go all the way to end of the array, and if we don't find any number whose sum is equal to the target value, then we'll return the empty array. All right, so we write the condition nums I plus num. Okay, so we have written our program. So first for loop will take the first element and it will go all the way to the end of the array. Then second for loop will take the first, start from the first element, and it will then take the sum of the first and second element, and compare with the target. And if it doesn't match, we'll keep doing that. We'll iterate through the array, and if we don't find the final any values which are not matching to the target, we return the empty array. So let's run our program. So node to some node.js. Okay, so let the console log to see the final output. So I'll pass the array. Let's take the input. And the target value is 9. Okay, save the file and run it. Yeah, so we can see it's returning successfully the value 0 and 1. Let's try some different input. 3, 7, 15 and 19. So 19 plus 3 is basically 22. So we can give our target value to 22. So it should return the final value as 0 and 3, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will return 0 and 3 as a final result. So it's not returning 0 and 3, so still returning 0 and 1. What we are doing wrong here? Let me take a look. Oh, I think we didn't save the file. So let's, yeah. So that was the problem. Our program is fine, but I forgot to save the file. So we have the 0 and 3 as a result. So the time complexity and the space complexity for this approach will be the time complexity will be O of n square, because we are using a loop inside the another loop, that's, and it will go all the way to the length of the array. So that's why the time complexity for this approach will be O of n square, and the space complexity will be O of 1, since we are not using any additional data structure to store the immediate results, right? So that's why the space complexity for this approach will be O of 1. Okay, so let me write down space complexity of because of nested for loop. And oh, my bad, it's time complexity, and the space complexity is O of 1. Because no additional data structure has been used to store immediate result. All right, yeah, so that's all for this approach. Thank you very much for watching my video, and if you like this video, please subscribe so that whenever I post the second approach video, you will get the notification. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining.